Hi everybody, hope you're all well. Mindful Moodling will be starting in a few minutes. Well, you know how early I am. Anyway, just bear with me, the video's about to start soon. Thanks, bye. Hello, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Hello. I can't see a thing here because I've got all my camera set up and I can't see a blooming thing. So bear with me. I am here somewhere. I'm going to use coloured pencils today and a little book. So my coloured pencils consist of my Prismas, my Faber-Castells. I always think they're just pencils, right? But I have to change my original perception of that and just say not all pencils are the same. So for that reason, sometimes you have to be willing to eat your words. You get what you pay for, but it all depends on what you can afford, doesn't it? So I've always tried to be pretty, well, I've always done my best to be pretty transparent like that. Oh, bubby neck, that's not good, is it? You're going to be feeling sick soon. And I thought, well, I've done hundreds of videos, hundreds over the years. Every one of them I've learned from, and every one of them, you know, I could redo or change. Oh, what's happening now? Oh, come on now, I don't want you in. I don't want AI. Thank you very much. Hi, Rob. So I thought, let's get back to some basics, okay? So I set up my camera. And we're just going to do some basic colour drawing, but blend in a little bit and just, oh, for God's sake, I don't know what's happening today, but everything's, I don't like my computer at the moment because she seems to be all over the place. So anyway, I've got my new little book. I love my little book. Very cheap. Really nice paper though. I've got a white book and a black book. Here's my Winsor and Newton one, my little drawing one. I like this one a lot. I do work in this one. As you can see, I do my drawings in it. But you get a different effect on different papers. So I'm going to start with this. And I want to do some sort of water. And I want to sort of try and show you how to blend. I did a cherry the other day and people were sort of getting it, but I thought I'll try a little water droplet today. So I've got an image of a water droplet. You can hopefully see it. And I've put my contrast on. The next one will be my eye. And I've noticed when I'm drawing it that although they look on my drawing quite abstract, they are a rounded shape, and it's the shadows that cause the abstraction. So, okay, so we've got this main like survey, and it's going this way, the water droplet. So let's have I do a lot of my drawings and then rub them out because when I've done the shape I want, because if I do it before, as I keep telling everybody, you lose, you can't see where you were drawing and you end up just redoing the same thing over and over. So I'm just taking some of the lines away that I'm not too happy with, and it leaves me with the bare bones. Now the cherries were quite nice because I could see a definite light and dark. And now I'm going to be working on a medium, which is hard to see, but not as, what's the word? It's hard to see, but works well on a different coloured paper. So I'm going to be using some cool tones, so I can put them away. Although my, oh, that's silver, that's why I don't want that. Although I won't be using just cool tones, I'll be using some warm tones as well. So in this, I'm going to be using the greys, white, obviously. I'm not great at spotting colour, subtle colour. I'm not great at sourcing subtle colour again, very easily. So I tend to sort of go for bright colours. So this is quite a chance for me to be quite... I'm scared of them at the moment. I'm just going to put a link out, just in case people want to see where I am. And I am on all channels, so, but I'm never normally on a Sunday. So people are probably, oh, where's she? So I'm just going to check I'm live. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I really don't want to be too worried. Okay. So I've got some water droplets there. I've got some medium colours. I'm going for some beiges as well. And you don't need all these colours, you just need a selection of colours. So get the paper right. Right, I'm going to start with some of the lightest colour on here, and I'm going to rub out the rest. So and the reason I'm doing this is it's really difficult to retain white core on a brown medium. So you have to put in the light so that you can keep it light. And I'm doing it quite heavily so that it's going to block it out straight away. So I've done one, I'll do the next, and I'm looking at where better check the right light I'm doing. That's, oh right, this is right, okay, I've got it. Right, very light at the edge. So I'm choosing to do this on this because white paper, obviously you don't need to do this on, but when you're using a buff paper, you need to put your white down where it appears. And it might be right, really, you want to, I know sometimes I want to sort of really just dig down deep first. Don't do that. Build up your colour because you get a much better effect. So I'm noticing that there's a little bit more now, like this shape. And I've noticed that this is more like this shape. But what I don't want to do is put too much white on. I want to sort of build it up. So I've got that shape. I'm looking at this one now, and this is light here. Again, lots of layers. Remember, lots of layers are the important factor with this. So again, blend it out. If I was using the white paper, I would be using a cream now. I'm just wondering, is it knocking on anything? Let's see. No, that's better, she says as she knocks everything over. Oh dear, I knew I'd done that. I'll do that in a minute. Right, so now there's two pencils of choice. This one is a Faber-Castell, and I do love using my other one. to get white, but then there's a pen as well. Excuse me, I've just spilt this a little bit. I'll get rid of it. I don't like it there. So I'm going to come up now with a cream. And the cream is next to, but not over. So again, this is the building up. These are water droplets. Right. So I'm using a grey. And I'll be just laying the base down. I'll show you why in a minute. I'll be laying this base down to add colour over it. But when you get colour, you have to add warmth underneath the colour. You don't add it straight on. You add orange. Say you're doing red, you add oranges and yellows first. Otherwise you get a flat colour. So now I'm going to hit some of the mid-tones. Now if you was not having as many as this colours in your repertoire, then you would just need to cut, say, white to there, to there. I use blue or black, so you could go that far. You don't need all these, but if you've got them, it seems such a crime not to use them, doesn't it? So basically you should have them in your little family of colours set out, so you can just go boom boom boom, diddly boom boom. I've also got a green here, so if you have them like that, you can see your colour range, can't you? So you can see your colour range, and you're not that much of a lift you up a tiny bit, because I don't think you're far enough away to get a little camera. That's better. Right, so why didn't it start like that? So I've got the main body, which are my water droplets, but now I need to add the mid-tones. So I'm going to go in with, let me see, I'll try this one, although it might be a little bit dark. So I think I'll try with that one first. Yeah, that's it. So I'm going in. And I'm going in quite close to where I want it to be pure white, which is there. Then I'm looking at my picture. It's quite darker here. Lots of layers just mean that it takes a lot longer. Well, you get more layers to, what's the word, to get the image you need. I'm just lightening that there. It's annoying me a little bit. So lightening that. Hi, Karen. I know you never normally see me Sundays, do you? But I've really missed not doing my live. So I'm at the monastery tomorrow, and I don't, obviously I don't want to miss everybody, and I'm working most days, but I must find a day to do a live, even if it is down at highlights. I only work a couple of days, but it's homework and stuff that I have to do and prep, so I get I get sort of wrapped up in everything, but I had a great gold workshop, a foundational course. Some absolutely totally interesting people, as always. Nikki was there. The other lady, her name will come to me, June. And do you know, I met somebody from 10 years ago, Mel, a very good friend. Years and years ago, we all used to do similar places to go and do art with people. And she went to do a degree, and then she went to do a master's, and now she's doing, obviously, a PhD. So interesting. And hers was on sort of sort of lower class garments from around 1670 to 1770. And it was so interesting because there's none left. And so she can only work with the higher class stuff. And gold work was one of them. And she came to have a go, and she just smashed it, because she already had that wonderful eye, but she just knew. And what I mean by an eye is that you've already sort of spent that much time observing things that you have the observation part down pat. Whereas some people, when they're doing this and go work and other things, they have to learn the observation first and then go on. But if you've been researching things for years, you'll already have part of that already down pat. So you can see I'm building up this colour now. I'm building up a warmer tone. So I'm just going to carry on. I forgot how much I loved my pencil crayons and my markers. I just forgot how much I loved them. So I've gone in with pretty mid-tones now. I'm going to hit some of the darker tones just so that I can get a bit more depth for you to see. I'm going to do a couple of different things today because you know, it's, well, I can. I've got my pencils out. I think working on coloured paper is actually easier because it's giving you a mid base. Some would say white paper, but it's each to their own, isn't it? But I do like this because this gives you time to be able to put all the lights on and all the darks. So I'm just going to start on the outside now. And I'm going to start with the mid-tone. I'm just going to so I'm blending out really lightly with the pencil. I don't want to create the edge yet. So I'm blending outwards. I'm lifting the weight off my arm and I'm blending and blending so that eventually it disappears into the paper. Okay, just disappears into the paper. And then I can come round because the shadow of one will normally fall on another as well. Well, it does on my picture. And I'm just doing it on the paper. So it hopefully you get to see the blend happening. Now you should really sharpen your pencils, but for this blending, I tend to not worry too much. It's when I start to get with my my other ones that start to get with the really fine lines and stuff. There we go. Start to see it building up. I'd be lovely to see you, Karen. It's really strange out. When we used to start these classes, everybody had hundreds and hundreds of people, but now everyone's getting back to live, included including lives isn't as important as it was, and that's true because we've got other things to do. Whereas when everybody was in lockdown or trying to get back to some sort of normality, you had more time, and it was, obviously less of a captive audience, if you don't mind me saying. But now it's people getting back to normal, aren't they? We don't see as things as we used to. We don't have to sit down and watch. We're getting back to doing the other stuff. So yeah, we don't have as many. So I'm using I don't want to go straight back in with that. I might go in with a purple. So, I'm just looking for a dark. Here we go. Here it is. I thought he had it, but obviously not. This is one of my go-to pencils for, and this is an indigo, and it warms up a black no end. So I'm going for my mid-tones again, from my mid-tones, sorry, to my darker tones. And each time the colour comes out less and less, so it's not as far out as the other greys. So it's you're making it more precise and more depth of colour near the object, like that. And it hides all your pencil marks as well. Now this is when you do need a sharper pencil, but hey ho. Build up now with this black. And the black needs to be quite next to the white. To create the contrast. I might use a pen in a minute just to create even more of a contrast. So now I'm just going to go in again, building up lines. Because it's a rounded object, you're not necessarily going to get the lines where you think, you're going to get lines that almost appear from nowhere, and you're like, well, where's that come from? And it's the shadows inside your feature. So I've got like a little, and it's created by, say, me or other things around it. So we're getting there. And the way to make something look very 3D is next to some white next to something dark. With a crisp line. Let me come back with a, I don't want to add too much of this yet. So keep going. Once you've got your dark and your light in, you can start to build up all the other colours, because now you know where they are, the light and the dark is. You can start to see the other colours in. In the object, so to speak. I'll get pretty lost doing this. So, again, light next to dark. And this is where I always love it when you it's a bit like an unveiling of as such, that you start to see the impact that the light and the dark has against each other. And you do need a white and a black pen, because that really gives you some added depth. I mean, at the moment, that's mid. You'd need a lot more work on it, but you... Oh, now, that's not right. I have my little bag there ready to go. Oh, I know. I've left it in my car. Never mind. I'll have to see if I've got one here. Oh, I might have. It's not normally me. I normally have a ton of them, but we'll see. I hope the pens I'm picking up aren't the ones that I've left behind, because they're not great, but we'll see. If they are, they are. I'll have to make do with them. Hey, right, let's see if this works now. So I'm going in with a pen. Sometimes pens don't always like... Start to see this white now. Because of the wax in the pencil, it creates a resist, doesn't it? So I'm going to see if I can get it working with some of my other stuff. Now I've got a Montana pen here. So I'm just priming the edge because it's a paint pen. Just waiting. I'm just priming the pen. Look. Hello, Dawn. Might not want to be primed. Might be having a lie-in like Sunday, isn't it? So I'm going to leave that upside down a minute. I'm going to see if I can go back in with these. Because there we go. Ah, that's better. That's it. So we've got that nice light there. We've got this wonderful bright light here at the bottom where the water droplet is just shining through. Got another one here. And then we've got I've just got a delivery of the stuff for tomorrow at the monastery. And I'm going to draw some little designs for him today. So we're doing quilling and I love it. It gets very addictive, I must admit. That's much better. I would say this still needs a lot of work because to me, the light isn't light enough and the dark isn't dark enough, if that makes sense. And my acrylic marker needs wetting. Oh, did that just come out of there? Oh, it might be nearly ready. So the black really does need to be black, and I think a black pen would probably suit my needs better. Like a micron or a felt or something like that. A felt isn't the right thing, obviously, but you need something against the light. So I should have one of them. So there's 100 of the damn things here. Let's see if this one will work on it. Yeah, there we go. She says. Now, so you'll get to see the light hitting the side of the bubble. And the surface tension sort of being interrupted by light. Well, not interrupt, yeah, it's sort of showing the light. It should be very smooth because you don't get corners with water. Not that I've seen, anyway. Unless it's ice. So you get that drama then, and it can be built up with a pen. I mean, it's quite difficult to explain until you've tried it yourself, and when you do try it yourself, you'll go, I get it. it gets easier the more you put on. That's it. So we've basically got that water drop. So what happens if we wanted to put some colour on this and do another one next to it? So I'll do what we call one of them love art ones. I'm going to leave that so it needs a bit more, mid-tones, I think. So let's get this might be a bit big. Right, so we've got this. We've got like a love art. And I'm going to go back in now to just show you some more while that dries. I will finish it. I just need to give it a little bit of time. It's a bit like when you're doing parchment and they say, give it time to breathe. And you're like, no, that's a load of rubbish. If you give it time to breathe, it just means you're copying out. No, it doesn't. It actually means giving it time to breathe. Because if you don't, the paper's already been used a lot and it gets a little bit stretched. You need it to warm and cool down. So we've got this here. Now, if I want to start with a colour, what I can do is start with some colours. So I'm just going to start with an alcohol pen. So let's try with this. See, it's different with these alcohol pens because that'll do it. Even although it's light, it's quite dark on this. I'll try it on white as well. So starting with a colour. Now, I'm using like a light green. Believe it or not, it's not a light green to you. It's quite a dense one. But what happens is, once it's evaporated, I can bring the colour up again. Right, is this ready yet? No. I have to leave it upside down a bit now. So I've got that colour down. So I can now go in with some bright colours. And some lemons and limes, and it's quite surprising how light you can go. So I've got these. And I do need some very dark ones, but I would use, again, only the colours you need. So you don't need all the ones I've got. So we've got this base colour. It's bled through, which it will do on this. Still not evaporated. But what you can do, let's try the other one. It was quite yellow, wasn't it? Could even try a flesh tone on this. Or a peach or whatever you want to call it. The flesh tones don't have to be peach, do they? So I'm just going to go on now with, start with the yellow. The yellow green. And watch the colour pop up already. Tonally. So now what I'm doing is using where the white would be. Now making this up so you should always have a picture in front of you, otherwise you won't be able to see where the light hits. So here I've got the yellow, which is acting like the cream on the white. I've got the tone of the pen underneath. So I've got the tone of the paper coming through. I find this a much better way of shading, using the alcohol pens underneath. I've tried to sort of work these in. You can't, if you're doing a show though on other products, you can't always use them because, you know, that might not be what you're concentrating on. So when I'm doing it for myself like this, I can show you what I use. So again, you're going down the colour. So you're going light to dark, and the darker it is, the less you put on. You can build up the colour again. I've got to go out shopping in a bit. I hate that because I've been looked after so well while I work away. I try and get a bit of shopping in because poor Mark has to fend for himself. Anyway, so can you see, building up that colour now, I've got this colour underneath with the alcohol pens. Which allow me to build all this tone on top. Like that, you're building up tonal values, and then some people like to do circles. That's cool. That's cool because you get a nice colour there. I'm just going to go right round here with it. Forgot what I was doing then. Where's the other one? There it is. Learning about colour really is it's quite easy once you grasp the basics, and after that applying it to what you need to know is the next best thing, because you might not need to know everything there is about colour. You might only need to do it like about layering or card textures together or card colours together. You might not need to know about like how your eye gets interfered with by other colours, and now that you're looking at this green, but actually the only colour that isn't present within this is green. It's all and it makes sense because it's all the other colours to make green. So you don't actually see green, you see all the other colours making green for you to see. And it's about stuff like that that really interests me. But you don't have to know all that. You could easily just know like that, you know, for card layering, black and white are really good, but also neutrals, you know, all these things. are really interesting to know, but just know what you need to know, if you see what I mean. So I'm just building up it round there. So where it was a very light green, I've been able to stave the colour bright again, look. So when I put this all over it, that's stayed, in essence, light. Now this is from a glass pebble I had from years ago, so I don't even think this is looking like it should because I haven't got it with me. But if I had it with me, it would probably be a much better picture. But you're getting the idea of, you know, blending and just layers of colour to create darker colours, so to speak. It's not all one colour. If I put down dark green, just dark green to get dark green, then I wouldn't get the depth of colour from all the other colours underneath it, like your eye does. I'd get what we call a flat colour. Now, if you want to, you can take the whiteness off just with the edge like that. So you can build up. Now I'm looking at this now and I'm thinking that needs a bit of colour on it, but it needs a bit of white. So I'm just going to see if I can get the white. And I could just see a little crack of white there. It's not having it today. It's not loving me. Try again. You can sometimes just scratch your pen and you're taking some of the surface away, so it will layer a little bit. So it's all, I mean, I get carried away. I won't hear me speak for ages while I'm doing stuff like this, but you just see little flecks of light in it. So it looks like a little window. And there's all sorts. I mean, I've got an eye drawing and everything, but you get mainly the dark colour in the middle. You can see there's less and less pencil being taken on into the layers because it's full. The layers are full. So it's saying now no more. But that's with the lovely alcohol markers at the beginning. We're getting that lightness in it. So I'm just going to go back in with the very lightest colour. I'm going to try and keep that white. You see it now? Hopefully you do. It is a time-consuming job, but it really is worth it when you get the pens that work on top of it. I've not got the right pens. You can see when it's bright, it really is bright. So you get that lovely little, and I'll just go on these now. Oh, it's still not having it. You get the little drift of it, of how to build up nice little. Take some of that off. So we've got our little, I'm going down, I'm just cutting it down a little bit for you. So you draw on the outside. This is the other way. They're all basically the same, they're just different ways of doing it. You draw on you're drawing negatively now. I prefer to draw negatively sometimes because I tend to get, when I'm doing positive drawing, which means I'm drawing the object, I tend to get too wrapped up in detail and forget the actual mission, so to speak. So here I'm just drawing around the object like that. So I'm just putting a bit of darkness on the outside there, coming into the object, and then the light will be there out of the object there, and then hopefully these will work better on here now. You have to so you've got lots of different ways of colouring. We've got three-dimensional, where you add depth of colour by adding numerous colours underneath. We've got alcohol pens, where you add a base layer and then build it up. Then we've got a simple, what I'm doing is just a simple negative drawing, where you put the dark around the light and then the light over the light, and then you can blend the two, hopefully, out a little bit, back and forth with colours, but leaving the bit you won't like. We'll put back, that's why. So yeah, these are just like little water droplets, getting us back to colouring. I have got my own eye, actually, took a picture of it, so we can, draw something. If you want to join in, you can always draw your eye as well. So, and all you mean is take a picture on your phone of your eye, and we're looking at the colours. That's not coming back, you swine. I wonder if I could just do that. Will that help? No. Just getting it all over my bloody hands now. Look. If you rub it in like that, like it's going to make a difference. No, it just makes it so that it's drier. Ah, sod that. But there's loads of little reels and stuff on how to do stuff like this. And they're worth watching because there might be one that suits your needs and suits what you do better. It's not one size fits everybody, does it? You know, not one size fits all. So I'm going to go back into this just while it's settled down now, and I'm going to go in with a buff because it's a brown paper. Get me? So with it being a craft paper, I'm creating shadows on a craft paper. I'm not trying to make a picture on top of it. I'm trying to make it look like it's part of it, but popping out. So I'm going to go with another colour, which is the lighter version. I'm just going to take that down a little bit. Looks a bit insipid, that colour. So I'll go with this. Might be a bit too warm, this one, but even when you're trying to represent craft paper, the amount of colours that's in it is untrue. So I might put a beige in there. Oh, silver one. Where's that colour on? There's a colour I want. It's like a taupey colour. Where is it? Taupe. Talk to me. Where is it? I'll try with a... No, it's pastel. Don't want to... that's charcoal. Don't want the charcoal. Try with this one. Might be too yellow again. Yeah. Try with... I'm cancelling it out now with it. Oh, there we go. Cancelling it out now with a light grey. Now I can really darken. See what I mean about leaving it a minute? Because if you don't, what you tend to do is just overdo it all at once. So leave it a minute, let it sit and brew, so to speak. I mean, I'm using green now, believe it or not. Right, so moving in with go back in with it. I've been listening to a song over and over. It's a really old one, but it's amazing. White Rabbit. It's one of them songs. It's just, I think it's timeless. You may disagree. Right, so you can see now, it's starting to hopefully pop off the page a bit more, and I do the same with this. So yeah, I'm starting to build up that little pattern now, and I'm starting to get a bit happier with what I've got there on the paper. So we're starting to see the dark on the light on the dark. There we go. I'm just adding a little bit more while I can see the light shining on them. Mine aren't great, as I said, because mine are pretty scruffy. But when you get looking at some others that do more shading, you'll get to see, you know, their versions of it. But hopefully, I hope you can see it's starting to pop off a page a little bit. You put some little dots in and stuff to make it. I'm just rubbing lines in here because these sort of droplets appear out of nowhere. So they almost appear like that. It's weird, but they do. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. I bet you've not enjoyed that as much as I have. I bet you've not. I hate it when my pens run out. It's like you get some really comfortable shoes and then the heels start to go, and you know, the minute you repair them or get new ones, you'll have to go through all that hassle again. And I'm like that with my pens. But I am throwing some away. Believe it or not. And each one of these water droplets looks very different. So, blooming heck, an hour already. So I would do the same with this because this is, you know, in need of a lot of work. And you do see reels where they do it in 5 minutes. No, they don't. It takes them ages. But not only ages, it takes them ages to get the feel of the colours they're using and the shapes that they're trying to create. Not 5 minutes, but you know, do it 5 minutes every day. You'll soon be on the path of sort of your own discovery. And just look at colours of shapes, colours of patterns, patterns of colour, so colours of the other way. And if you can, there's some books on colour. If you want to know, I can actually, you know, give you some really good names. Caroline Finley's really good on colour. I loved her book. Really loved it. Tells you where the actual colours come from, like Afghanistan for blue and Mexico for cochineal and stuff. Really interesting. And how your light in the eye isn't the colour you think it is. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to sort my pencils out, do my washing, and get prepped for tomorrow at the monastery, which is 10:30, 11, well, 2:30. We're quilling. You're welcome to join us. I've got some new stuff today for the quilling. So yeah, come down, enjoy time in Manchester. It's really simple to find, and it's really, everyone can join in. It's inclusive. But yeah, so if I want, I'll see you next week for another colour course. We'll do a different colour sphere shape every week and do some more lessons, and then hopefully we'll get back to doing a regular slot so everybody knows when and where it is, like we used to. But like you say, life goes on, life changes. So I'll give you a big heads up love. No, I'll give you a big loads of love, and I hope to see you next week. So until then, let me get this. It's bye-bye from me, and bye-bye from no one else, because there's only me.